And now, Up Theater Company presents an original radio play based on the classic radio serial Richard Diamond, Private Detective. Tonight's episode, A Christmas Diamond, written by James Bosley, directed by Doug Bost.
Diamond's the name, Richard Diamond. And as the name suggests, I'm a hard guy. And I'm hardest around a certain sappy season they call Yule. And I don't mean Brenner. Let's just say I had a hard childhood. 'Tis the season to be tra-la-la-la-la. My gig is private eye, gumshoe, if you will, though I don't care for that nomenclature. Gumshoe denotes gooey and chewy and soft, and I'm, like I said, Diamond. So, it's Xmas Eve, that's right, I said Xmas, and I show up at the apartment of one Helen Asher, a lady friend of mine. I'm hoping to get through the night with as little Xmas spirit as would fit through a pinky toe of a stocking hung by the...
Hello, Richard.
Whoa.
I'll take whoa as a compliment. Come on in.
Helen stood in the doorway dressed in a short red cocktail dress over black fishnets. Her hair was done up all coy and sexy. Now this is the sort of holiday spirit I can get behind. She opened the door wide. I headed straight for the wet bar. Helen, I know I'm not much on this Xmas thing, and I'm sorry. I didn't get you any presents. It's just
that you're a hard guy, and you had it tough growing up, and Christmas is a sore spot for you. I get it. I don't need presents.
Good. Any present I could give you would pale in comparison to the gifts you were born with. Looks, riches, penthouse apartment on Park Terrace East, a voice like a songbird.
I'll spare you the tragic tale of this poor little rich girl, but not all my Christmases were joy to the world either. There is one thing I would like for Christmas, however.
What's that?
Watch A Christmas Carol with me. Oh, one of the fondest memories I have is of my family and I gathered around the telly every Christmas to watch that picture. You know, Scrooge and Marley and all those ghosts of Christmas past and Christmas present. That's all the present I want. We'll turn the lights down low and cuddle under the mistletoe. Sounds nice?
How could I tell her? That movie scares the pants off me. Truth is, I'm afraid of ghosts. Maybe it's because I've created my share of them over the years. Sure, they were bad guys, most of them. But they haunt my dreams whenever I go to bed sober. That sounds swell, Helen. But, in my house, we always watched The Wizard of Oz. It was the only nice thing we ever did together, and I was sort of hoping...
But it's not a Christmas story.
But it's always on. December 24th, Channel 11, 8 o'clock. Why, it's almost that time now.
No. My house, my telly, my scotch, my Scrooge. A classic Christmas story.
Sure, honey. Sorry. We'll do whatever you want. The movie starts, and I grab hold of that scotch, and I hold on tight. Helen and I cuddled up, which was nice, and we took advantage of that mistletoe, which was really nice. So far, so good. But when that ghost Marley came on and dragging those chains and telling Scrooge how he mucked up his life and laying the guilt on like a big ladle of goose gravy, well, I couldn't stand it.
Richard? Richard? Where are you going?
Sorry, I fled her sunken living room knowing how childish it must seem, a grown man afraid of ghosts. When I hit the street, it was snowing. Not just snowing, it was a snow-nado. The wind sent my fedora to the stars. The cold slapped me like I would have slapped a reluctant suspect. The snow was so blinding, I couldn't create a metaphor for it. I ran toward the one place I'd feel safe, the friendly confines of the 34th Precinct. Running across Broadway, suddenly, a car. Headlights in my eyes. The swish of tires squishing and sliding on a slushy street. The world went spinning around like some crazy dreidel. Then everything went black. I awoke in a dark room, dazed. head, like the little drummer boy was banging away inside my skull. I was trying to get my bearings, and I heard a strange sound. Then I saw him, and whew, was I relieved. It was just my old pal Walt Levinson, captain of the 34th. Hey, Walt. Boy, I took quite a tumble. Hit by a car, a squad car. I could...
Scrooge! Ebenezer Scrooge!
Hey, Walt, quit the games. I'm not in the mood. I just... Where am I?
Over the rainbow.
Walt, I swear
Name is Marley, Jacob Marley, deceased.
Deceased? When? Oh, hey, Walt, cut the make-believe. I'm not...
I am Jacob Marley, deceased, and I've come to help you, Ebenezer Scrooge.
You want to help me quit calling me Ebenezer and using that spooky voice? And what's with all the chains you got wrapped around you there?
Sadly, old friend, these are the chains of my life. Each heavy link is a bad deed I've done. And as you can see, I've done a lot. It's the chain of justice, and it weighs heavy upon my shoulders.
What's the matter with you, Walt? You don't talk like that.
Cease your senseless prattle! Can't you see I'm trying to help you?
All I see is you dress for trick-or-treat, and I see you twice because my eyes don't want to focus right.
Yeah, I was a good cop. A damn good cop. The streets are minus 1,000 bad guys, thanks to me and the boys of the 34th. And thanks to you, too. I don't deny it, we helped clean up this rotten city. I was Batman and you were my Robin.
Well, I think you got that backwards, Walt,
But we sometimes crossed the line. I know it and you know it. The illegal searches, the gun fired without provocation, the blind eye turned while you slapped the goods out of a reluctant suspect. And sometimes even a guilty one.
Well, sure, I was a little rough at times, but...
Sure, the information we obtain often helped solve the case. And because of us, a lot of crumbs got swept off this town's cake plate. But here's the thing. It turned us into bad guys as well.
But...
Bad apples, that's what we are. Every time we went around regulations, planted evidence, we were bad guys. And don't take my word for it. I just came from the highest court in the land. No, not the land, the heavens. The Supreme Court, with St. Peter on the bench. The verdict, guilty.
All right, I'll go along with the gag. So, what brings you to me on this auspicious eve?
I'm trying to spare you this same fate. So listen and listen good. There's not much time. When the bell of Good Shepherd strikes the hour of 1, you will be visited by 3 ghosts.
Uh-huh.
And they're going to tell you some things and show you some stuff, and you better listen. Though I know listening was never your strong suit. But your everlasting future depends on it. I must go now. Good luck. And Merry Christmas!
And with that, he was gone. Vanished in a cloud of mist right before my eyes. I lay back down. I didn't know what to think. The whole thing was crazy. It must be a dream. All I wanted was to be back at Helen's place. But when I closed my eyes, all I could see was faces of Walt. Hundreds of Walts twirling around in a milky mist, and each face was saying the same damn word. Bad guy, bad guy, bad guy. And then I must have fallen asleep. I was awakened by the thunderous chime of a church bell. Despite my skepticism, I peered into the darkness in search of ghosts, and I do admit to being relieved not to find any. But then, a flash of light, bright, blinding. When I could see again, there it was. Yipes!
Yipes is right. I guess you're surprised to see me.
Why, you're that dame from the Gibson murder case, Miss Pelgram, isn't it? Yeah, Virginia Pelgram. You were partnered up with that Austin character who knocked off Leland Gibson, the old-timer who you were leading around by the nose. Then when...
You talk a lot, you know that?
Well, it is kind of my stock and trade. My gift of gab. It's like Elvis's wiggle, Castro's beard. It's Marilyn Monroe's large...
You can call me the ghost of Christmas past. Now, if you don't mind, I need to get on with my script. Your journey is about to begin.
My journey?
I am the ghost of Christmas past. And by past, I mean your past. Come on, we're going on a little trip.
Where?
Just relax. I'm running this tour.
You know, I've had a hard night.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh, okay. Let me find my coat.
You don't need a coat.
With that, she grabbed me by the hand and we flew out of the window. You heard me. We flew out of the window. I nearly lost my lunch. But before I could protest, I was standing in front of a seedy old tenement building in the Hell's Kitchen of yore.
Does this building look familiar?
All too familiar. This is where I grew up. I even recognize that rat.
You had a pretty tough time when you were a kid, didn't you?
Tough. This may be hard to believe, but I had a smart mouth as a kid, and that smart mouth got me into more fights than a young couple planning a wedding. I got more black eyes than a murder of crows.
You done with the metaphors?
Yeah.
You want to go in?
What for?
To see your folks.
Well, you know, I'd love to, but I got a tall brunette in a short dress waiting for me. And also, my folks have been dead for 31 years.
They're in there now.
Say what?
Come on.
The ghost grabbed me by the hand, and I was led inside like I was going to kindergarten. We went up the stairs, dim, just as I remember it. We got to a door. Sure enough, 2E, our old flat.
Let's go in.
Oh, I don't know.
It wasn't a question. Come.
Shouldn't we knock?
Knock. Humbug.
And somehow, suddenly, we were through the door. And there before me was my father, looking younger than I remember, and my mother in her apron and her best Sunday dress, and there was little me. Little me. Look how cute I was. And we're sitting at our tiny kitchen table, Christmas dinner just as I remember. A few potatoes and a chicken no bigger than a pigeon. It was just like I remember. Except that we were all smiling. And there was laughter. And hugs and kisses.
What's the matter? Got the sniffles?
Yeah.
Sure. You were pretty poor back then, but Christmas. At least your parents managed to make Christmas a happy time, didn't they?
Yeah. They did.
Because Christmas is really all about love, isn't it?
Yeah, but this was the last Christmas we would ever have. Because after this, well, I'm sure you know the sad ending to this tragic tale.
But that's all in the past now. We mustn't let the past ruin Christmases to come, can we? Okay, let's go back.
Back? No. Well, let's stay a bit. I think they're getting ready to sing. We always sang right after dinner. Christmas songs. Rudolph the Red-Nosed...
I'm sorry. We are all out of time. Tune in next hour for more thrills and chills.
Before I knew it, I was back in my little room and the spirit was gone. I lay awake, still yearning to be back with my family. I felt a bittersweet joy in my heart as it pumped its warm, sweet blood through my hardened arteries. And I thought of Helen. Helen, I'll go back to Helen, that's what I'll do. But then I just dropped back into a deep sleep. I was out like a candle in the wind. And then, bell number 2.
We'll return to Up Theater Company's original radio play, A Christmas Diamond, in just a moment. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Kirby, where's our sponsor? Oh, right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm reminded that we don't have one sponsor. You, our listeners, are our sponsors. That's right, Mr. Dalto, and Miss Warner, and Mr. Gregory, and the Jacobys. You are our sponsors. And many of you folks at home, it is your donations that allow us to bring you such programs as this very one, just as you did for our previous radio dramas, as well as our ongoing reading series and other special events. And, of course, it will help us to remount the main stage production of A Barn Play, which sadly had to close before it opened in 2020. In other words, folks, it is your donations that make this company go, and it's been going for almost 12 years, so thank you. And please, after the show, just take a moment and show your appreciation. It's easy. Do it on our website at uptheater.org. And remember, that's theater with an ER. It's tax deductible and greatly appreciated.
And now for the exciting conclusion of A Christmas Diamond.
The bell tolled. 2 a.m. I wait in the dark. 5 minutes, 10. What kind of ghost is late to his own haunting? I ask myself aloud. Finally, a thump. Like a sack of dung falling from a great height. There is a cloud of dust and a big lump of meat rises from it. Hey, wait a minute. This is no ghost. This is Lieutenant Walt Levinson's personal Igor, Sargent Otis. In case you haven't been following this series closely, well, shame on you, but for the uninitiated, Otis is a 300-pound smoke ham of a copper.
Nice to see you too, Shamus.
The itinerary I got from Captain Levinson, or should I say Marley, was that ghost number 2 was to appear at the strike of 2. But lo and behold...
Lo and behold, it is I, ghost number 2. The ghost, A Christmas Present. Please hold your applause.
Oh, brother.
Hush, and respect the spirit.
Fine. Ghost of Christmas Present. But I warn you, you've got a lot to live up to. Ghost number 1 was a real eye-opener. And with a whoosh, we were out again, flying through the cold night sky. This time, we went up the river. Alighting on a foreboding facility I began to recognize as Sing Sing Penitentiary. The last place I'd want to spend Christmas.
It's the last place many of the people in here would want to spend Christmas, especially with you. Come, take a look.
We entered invisibly, as ghosts are wont to do, and sure, it wasn't exactly a happy place. There was overcrowding, a fight between the inmates, lousy food, disease, just your average Dickensian nightmare. But mostly, there was sadness. There was a sad little Christmas tree off in a corner, fake, of course, decorated with drawings sent by the children of the prisoners, and a chapel where lonely men raised their voices to sing of the birth of hope across the land. But mostly, it was a place of lost promise. I recognized a few of the guests as guys I helped put away. It didn't seem so tough in here. They seemed broken, like cheap toys the day after Christmas.
So, wise guy, what do you think?
You do the crime, you do the time. Isn't that how it's supposed to work?
Yeah, sure. Come over here.
He led me to a cell. In it was a man, a young man, his face in his hands. When he looked up, I nearly died. If I wasn't dead already. It was me. Me, only 10 years younger.
Now what do you think, wise guy?
But I was never a crook, a criminal, a perp.
Are you sure?
I mean...
You mean you were never caught, never convicted. Maybe you were lucky. Maybe you had certain, shall we call them, privileges?
Otis, I never took you for a liberal defender of justice.
Hey, this isn't about me, Shamus. This is about you. The you who may not have been so lucky after his parents died in that wintry crash. It sent you into a spiral of delinquency that, if not for a few lucky breaks, the fork in the road not taken, well, you might just as easily have ended up here.
Okay. Yes, I am lucky. I got some breaks. Are we done here?
Did you get the message?
Yeah. There, but for the grace of God go I.
And?
And don't be so quick to judge those who are not as lucky as me.
Yeah, that sums it up. We can move on now.
Move on? You mean there's more?
The ghost, A Christmas Present, has one more destination for you.
And there we went again, right up through the roof and back down river. We We took a sharp left at the GW Bridge. We flew over Fort Tryon with its cloisters, a place stuffed with the iconography of all things medieval. We crossed over Dykeman Street, where the holiday parties were still pounding. I could hear the merengue and smell the sweet smoke of hookah. It was over Isham that I realized that the storm had ended. The fallen snow in the trees was magical. I was flying through the world's largest Christmas card. Then, we were back where this story began, outside of Helen's place. Only this time we hovered outside her windows like a couple of bats. Helen's menorah was in one window, a wreath in the other, and there, through the third window, was...
Tell me what you see.
Helen.
Yeah? What else?
She looks like she's been crying. Tissues everywhere.
Gee, you must be a detective of some kind. What else? What else?
She's watching TV.
Yeah, you're getting warmer. What is she watching?
It's The Wizard of Oz.
Right! Now, I wonder why she decided to watch that particular movie.
Because it's the movie I wanted to watch.
That's right again. Gee, you're really acing this quiz, Ace. But let me wrap it up and put a bow on it for you. She's been sitting there all night, hoping you'd come back, watching your movie and crying her eyes out. But no, you're too afraid of ghosts. And to state the obvious irony, look where you are now. You're flying around with me.
We hovered out there for a while. Otis seemed pleased at how miserable I was at the sight of Helen crying.
The real mystery to me is, what does a classy babe like Helen see in a guy like you anyway?
I don't know. I've asked myself that question 100 times.
Well, that's women for you. You just can't figure them.
Listen, Ghost. You don't need to take me back. Just drop me off here. Well, don't drop me exactly, but if you can let me down gently and I'll take the elevator back up to her place and I'll...
Nope. I have my orders.
So back we went. I looked down at the apartment buildings of uptown Manhattan, all huddled up together as if for warmth. I thought of all the kids down there snug in their beds, waiting for dawn so they could make wreckage of their living room. And their sleepy parents in pajamas, mugs of coffee and big smiles across their innocent faces. It was a nice scene I came up with. One I never figured to be in myself.
Afraid of ghosts. What a baby. Now those munchkins? Those flying monkeys? Now that's some scary cheese. I mean, they don't even mess around.
And then we were back in my dark little room, and Ghost Otis was gone quicker than rum punch at a church picnic. I lay down, but this time I couldn't sleep. I just kept thinking of Helen, sitting there, waiting for me. What a dope I am. That's it. I'm just gonna gather myself up, make my way to the street, hail the BX7 bus, and that's when the bells struck 3. And the door blew open, and a cloud of white floated into the room, and there, emerging from the cloud... Helen?
Hello, Richard.
Helen, thank goodness you're... But, hey, what's with the white beard and the Santa hat?
I am the Wizard of Claus, the ghost of Christmas future.
Are you gonna whisk me across the sky to some foggy graveyard, show me the headstone? Here lies Richard Diamond, scared of ghosts.
No, nothing like that. I'm just here to reassure you.
Oh?
When you were flying over the rooftops of Old Inwood, looking down on the families below, you admired that life and wondered if that could ever be you.
Yeah, sure, I wondered. But I know it's not in the cards for a guy like me. I mean, who would bet their future on a bad apple with a chip on his shoulder?
Well, I would. Now, don't go thinking I'm here to propose. You know me better than that. I'm a straight shooter. But I am here to tell you that anything is possible if you want it, and that you mustn't let the past define you. You can be whatever you want to be if you're strong enough. And the man you think you are may not be the real you, but someone you've invented in your youth in order to survive some previous ordeal.
I don't know. I've been this tough nut for as long as I can remember.
I am here to give you permission to let go of that nut. Let go of the past and start living in the present. You do that, and the future will take care of itself. And you could have made it back to my place any time you wanted. All you had to do was click your gumshoes 3 times and repeat, "There's no place like home."
There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. And once again I fell asleep. But this time, I slept the sleep of babes. And when I awoke, it was daylight. I realized I was in a holding cell at the precinct. Morning sun streamed through the window bars, making a zebra of the room. The door opened, and there was Marley again. Or Walt. At this point, how was I to know?
Diamond, you're awake. Good. You got some knock on the head in that storm last night. Glad to see you bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Wait, is it you? Is it really you?
Of course it's me. Who else? Otis!
Enter Otis, decidedly less spirit-like.
Otis, apologize to Mr. Diamond.
For what?
For crashing into him earlier and knocking him into the new year.
But Captain, he ran in front of me in the storm. I could barely see. I mean, I hit the brakes, but
It's okay. Accidents will happen in a storm like this.
Are you forgiving me, Diamond? This is not like you.
Come on, Sargent, let's call a truce in our little feud. After all, it's Christmas.
Captain? I don't think Diamond Day is exactly right day in the head, eh?
Richard, are you all right?
Hello, Miss Asher. Yes, he's been resting peacefully.
Peacefully?
Other than a supersized headache, he should be fine. Richard, I hope you don't mind, but I took it upon myself to call Miss Asher to come down. I know you have no other next of kin.
Mind? It's a dream come true. Listen, these past hours have been a sort of Christmas miracle. I had this dream, and you were there, and you were there, and you were there, and...
And was I there too?
Yes! But what... Walt, what is Virginia Pelgram doing here? Didn't we send her up?
Yes, we did, but...
But I got out on account of good behavior. Ha!
Good behavior. We busted her again last night, running the same con as before. People, they don't change. We put you in the cell across from hers when we brought you in last night.
Yeah, and you kept me up all night, talking and yelling in your sleep. Yelling about ghosts and chains and I don't know what.
Yes, I had these dreams. They were crazy. But I learned that bad apples can be made ripe again, Walt. And even if the past was painful, the future can still be bright. And that there is no place like home. Because it's love that makes a home. And we can argue about the movie we watch, but what really matters is love. I love you, Helen. And Merry Christmas to you all. Even you, Otis, you big slab of ham.
Same to you, Gumshoe.
You know what I want to do right now? I want to sing. I do. I want to sing.
Sing? In the precinct house? Heck no.
Sure, let him sing if he wants to. Why not? This place could use a little joy.
Well, let's all sing then. Did you have a song in mind, Richard?
Yes. I want to sing I'll Be Home for Christmas.
If only in your dreams.
Quiet, you.
But I want to sing too.
No way.
Virginia, the old con artist, if you want to sing, sing. Let's all sing!
Thanks, Diamond. You ain't such a bad apple after all.
Ready, everyone?
I'll be home for Christmas. You can plan on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and presents under the tree. Christmas Eve will find me where the love light gleams.
Christmas, baby.
You've just heard Up's original radio play, A Christmas Diamond, by James Bosley. Tonight's episode was directed by Doug Bost and produced by Up Theater Company with sound direction by David Margolin Lawson. Richard Diamond was played by Rick Walter. Helen Asher was played by Laura FOIS. Lieutenant Levinson by Jeff Ward. Sergeant Otis by Victor VERHAEGHE. And Virginia Pelgram by Elizabeth Bell. I'll Be Home for Christmas is written by Walter Kent, Kim Gannon, and Buck Ram. Up Theater's programming is supported by the Lower Manhattan Cultural Council and the Upper Manhattan Empowerment Zone, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, the Miranda Family Fund, the Medical Center Neighborhood Fund, Manhattan Mini Storage, and by listeners like you. Thank you. And from everyone at Up Theater Company, happy holidays.